What is up, Soul Fam? It's Sandal from Substance Over Style. Welcome to a new video. So I did say that that last week's video was gonna be the last video from this location, but I decided to squeeze another one in. And if you're not already in the women's Facebook group, I might be able to squeeze in one more. I'm gonna do a live in there. If I don't have time to do it from here, then I'll do it from the new location where we're moving to. I'm so excited. We've got a view of the beach. It's going to be so good. But yeah, join the women's Facebook group. The link is in the description. The link is only valid for 2 days. So if you try and click on the link and it doesn't work for you, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll give you your own special link just for you and get you into the group, because right now I'm taking suggestions for what the first live should be on, and I've only had 2 suggestions so far, so I would really like more of you to weigh in. Otherwise I'm just going to create the poll based on what I want to talk about, which is not really the point of this. The point of this is for me to help you. So yeah, and today I thought we'd talk about why you chase love. So firstly, why do we chase love? Why do you chase love? Why does anyone chase love? Okay, firstly, I don't want to pathologize chasing love, because I feel like a lot of people who talk about this subject make it out like it's this really needy thing that people do when they're in pain and where they don't feel like they're good enough or they're lacking their self-worth. Seeking love, chasing love, wanting love in your life is completely normal and natural, okay? So I'm just gonna say that first. Oh God, who's calling me right now? I always get these spam calls. Hello? Hello? I have no idea what they're saying. Can somebody please translate what that was? I mean, my Spanish is really not there yet. But yeah, I get one of those calls like every day. Anyway, it's completely normal and natural to seek love and to want love, okay? We're supposed to be in union. Sorry, my eye is a little itchy right here. We're supposed to be in union. We're supposed to be in love. We're supposed to be in partnership, okay? That is what God wants for all of us, okay? For us to be in love, in happy, and in union. Now, if we're seeking love outside of ourselves, it's through that love that we experience through another, or that we feel for the other, that we actually get to know God, okay? That is the hierogamos system, okay? The unification of the masculine and feminine through the mirror of the other is how we know ourselves and how we ultimately know God. So seeking love, it's that pull back to source. Now, obviously, when you're in a state of trauma, like when your emotional body or your nervous system is completely dysregulated because of, adverse childhood experiences or other types of traumas that compromise your sense of self-worth, and you're feeling like you need somebody outside of yourself to validate you, that makes that search that much more desperate and that much more hungry. Why? Because we are seeking the healing that comes through the mirror of the other person, okay? Relationships are an alchemical container that show us the reflection of what's happening within us. And ultimately, it leads us towards the healing that comes from God, ultimately. So, if you're in the kind of place where you keep on seeking love outside of yourself and you keep on getting into these like karmic toxic relationships that mirror back unhealthy patterns, like, mirror back your early childhood experiences, the love that you didn't get from your parents, that kind of thing, it's basically showing you repeatedly, again and again, through these spirals of healing and these lessons that you're learning, that you need to go within to find the source of the wound and heal it, okay? And ultimately, if you've been through this process multiple times, you will learn that healing ultimately only can ever come from Creator. Okay, we can use various healing modalities to heal it, like breath work, meditation, yoga. I mean, meditation, breath work are part of yoga and yogic practices. But, you know, when people typically say yoga, they mean asanas or kriyas, but actually meditation and breath work are also yoga. Yoga actually means unification with the divine. So when I say yoga, a lot of the time I am just talking about the unification with the divine, but, you know, methodologies like kriyas and asanas and breathwork and meditation can be very, very powerful methodologies for healing. That's why I have a whole course which heals your body somatically, which is basically what somatically means. It means through the body. Reclaim Your Crown, if you want details for that, the link is in the description below. It's a very, very effective modality. And then also methodologies like quantum healing, which is what I do one-on-one with my clients. Other such modalities, and, you know, I'm not going to talk about other modalities because, you know, I'm not trained in them. I don't offer them. But hypnotherapy, EMDR, I know a lot of people have had success with EMDR, natural dance, things like that. I've actually found a lot of healing through natural dance myself as well. So all of those modalities can certainly help you heal, but that's because they bring you closer to God. That's ultimately what those modalities are trying to do. They're trying to clear the distortions in your physical, your emotional, and your causal body, your mental body. These are your subtle bodies that exist outside of your physical body, so that those divine streams can come back in and you can hear God's voice. Or you can feel that kind of like somatic intelligence that is the divine feminine, the feminine current of God, the divine mother. You can hear those more clearly. And when you're able to hear those things more clearly, you're able to trust yourself more and you're able to make better decisions. You actually start aligning with a higher timeline, and then the love, seeking love becomes less of a charge. Like, you don't really seek it so desperately outside yourself. You still want it. I'll tell you, like, when I was single and when I was still, you know, calling in God and sourcing my love vertically, you know, straight direct to the Godhead instead of horizontally, like through another, definitely that charge to seek the love externally became a lot less desperate. But I still wanted it, okay? But I was much more choosy about who I wanted it from, okay? I could see where there was misalignment with people and I didn't seek it from them. Whereas when you haven't been through that process of doing the trauma healing, you will seek out the people that are actually going to continue to traumatize you or re-traumatize you, to show you the work that you still need to do to heal yourself. So another thing that can happen is particularly for women, when we're seeking love outside of ourselves and we're chasing it, it can be because of a depolarization or an inversion in our union template, i.e. our masculine and our feminine become inverted. So our feminine energy becomes wounded and suppressed for whatever reason. It can be sexual trauma, it can be societal conditioning around, you know, femininity being weak, or, you know, feminine women being whatever, you know, whatever the things, you know, society conditions us with to believe about women who are feminine, that they're gold diggers, that they're, you know, that they're not boss babes, that they're not empowered, that they're suppressed. And so we suppress that aspect of ourselves, that whole I'm not like other girls syndrome. And we operate out of the wounded masculine. So we also have an unhealthy relationship to our masculine energy, where we think that the masculine is better, we think it's empowered, we think it's cool, but we also think that, you know, men are aggressive, that they're, you know, that they're idiots, that they're misogynistic, that they need to be taken down a notch, that women can do things better. And so we go into competition mode with masculine. But that also causes us to put men on a pedestal above. It's, you know, it's interesting how it works, because when women suppress their own femininity, they don't acknowledge the feminine and women in general as the prize. And, you know, a lot of people get triggered by the idea that women are a prize because that, you know, they feel like that objectifies women. But it's not about you being an object. It's about the gifts that femininity brings, you know, the nurturing, the compassion, the care, the oracular gifts that femininity brings, you know, being able to, that intuition, you know, that you have when you're connected to that womb wisdom. These are all gifts of the feminine that are extremely magnetic to masculine energy men. And when women suppress this, they end up putting masculine energy on a pedestal, and therefore they put men on the pedestal, and they think that the man is the prize. And so that they think that they should go, you know, initiate, that they should chase. And, you know, that's fine for, you know, men who are in their feminine love to be chased, but masculine men don't really prefer to be chased. I mean, by all means, they do prefer to be given a green light, a dropping of the hanky, so to speak. But when you go and like pursue a man to the point where you're doing most of the chasing or the pursuing, and you're not creating that space to let him come to you, then he hasn't earned you. And it just creates like inverted polarity, where, you know, you basically show yourself to not be a prize, the opposite of a prize. And when he hasn't had to earn you, then he's not really going to value you as much. You know, I know nowadays, you know, we're all equal and we're all empowered, but biology is real and hormones are still real. And there's a certain energy that you will have as a feminine energy woman that knows that you're a prize, where you can give a man a green light and you can show that you're interested, but you have enough self-worth and enough self-value to let him come to you. I'm not saying that you can never initiate, okay, because I've initiated with men who actually I wasn't really romantically interested in, and they still kind of, I don't want to say that they fell in love with me, but that they still, you know, developed huge crushes on me, even though I was initiating most of the contact. Why? Now, why is that? Because it's not just about the action that you're taking, it's about the energy that you're embodying. Like, the energy that I was embodying was, you know, hey, I'm going to be here in your part of town and I have some time to kill. Would you like to hang out? And I could take it or leave it, but I knew my worth and my value. And like, it's not that I assumed that, you know, he would be this particular person. It's happened more than once, but just the example that I'm thinking of, that this particular person would definitely be attracted to me. But it's just, I knew that I was attractive, and I didn't have this story going on in my head where, is he attracted to me? Is he not? Like, what if he doesn't like me? You know, what if I'm not good enough? Which is why, you know, a lot of women who initiate, they will have this story going. They think that they need to take action, that they need to make something happen, because the man isn't going to make something happen, because they don't trust that he's interested enough in her and that he's going to be man enough to actually take the initiative and make something happen. So, you know, that's with the women that I've coached who've had this kind of inverted polarity going on, where they are always the initiator with men. This is usually the underlying story, that if I didn't make something happen, then it would never end up happening. And it's just like, well, if that's the case, then why are you even dealing with somebody who can take you or leave you? Like, that's not somebody who's really, really interested in you. When you source directly to your creator, you know you have inherent value, and you start aligning with that timeline where you only want to deal with the person that knows that you have such inherent value that he has to have you and he has to make you a part of his life, because A, he's into you enough, and B, he's in the right space in his life where he wants to have a woman in his life. Some men don't initiate with women because they're not in the right space to actually have a woman in their life. They're not ready for that serious relationship, either emotionally, financially, wherever they are. So, You've got to do the work to get yourself ready to be ready for that. And the way that you do that is by doing the trauma healing work necessary so that you can circumnavigate all those karmic lessons that are going to keep you spiraling, and those toxic relationships that are just going to keep mirroring back the trauma to you. Instead, you can just heal the trauma somatically, skip past all of that, and instead of chasing the love, you can just magnetize it to you, okay? It doesn't mean that you stop wanting it, you just become a lot less desperate about seeking it out, and you just allow yourself to pull it in because you know that you are worthy of it, that you deserve it, and that you actually radiate it. So yeah, I think that's it. That's all I want to say on that. Did get some questions in this week's Q&A, so let's answer some of those. Excuse me, I'm just recovering from a cold. And wiped me out for a couple of days. Somebody's asked me if I remember them from Pizza Hut. Oh my god. Let me see this person. I'm going to have to look up his profile. I used to work at Pizza Hut when I was a teenager. It was my first job, actually. No, I can't possibly remember that person because his profile's private. I don't understand, like, people should not have private... Oh, look, it's up to you if you want to have a private profile, but then don't expect people to look at your profile and recognize you. Or, like, when people want to, like, oh, let's do a collab, and then they have a private profile. I'm just like, don't make me send a request. You know, I want to be able to just see straight up without having to send a request. Is that too much to ask? Okay, so somebody asked where am I based currently. I am based in Mexico City, although I'm moving to the beach soon. Somebody also, Mian asked, have you any plan in your life to visit Pakistan? I've been to Pakistan loads of times. Why are you saying in my life? I've been there for work multiple times, for like PFDC, Bridal Couture Week. You know, we got flown in to shoot a couple of campaigns. I love Pakistan and I love modelling there as well. It's one of my favourite markets to model in. Just the textile industry there is just incredible. It just makes me so proud of my heritage. I'm 3/4 Pakistani, by the way, for anybody who wasn't sure. So yeah, I will be visiting. Might not happen this year because I'm finally going back to India. I haven't been back to India in years. But yeah, I will be going. Somebody Growling Khan asked, have you ever taken up acting? Yeah, I've done a bunch of acting. My show, I've actually posted my show reel on this channel. But yeah, like, for those of you who are new here, I've said multiple times, like, I've been modelling and kind of in advertising industry for almost 20 years now. So, you know, it's time for me to just transition into healing work, and, you know, I'm really enjoying entrepreneurship. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do acting more seriously if I got a really good offer, but it's not something that I don't want to go out of my way to do it right now because I'm already doing too many things. So I need to be focusing on less things rather than more right now. So Kamal, is that Kamal Carnell? I don't know, it's numbers in the name, so I can't see the name. What would you advise someone with social anxiety? So social anxiety is basically a combination of, is you're not feeling comfortable with the people that you're socializing with, basically. So I would recommend that you look at, are you really truly being authentic about who you really are, so that you can A, repel the people who are not for you, and B, magnetize the people who are for you. That way you find your tribe, you find your people who you can be comfortable around. Now, a lot of people find it difficult to be authentic because they have a dysregulated nervous system. That's where a lot of anxiety comes from. It's your dysregulated nervous system. Emotional body is full of stories, triggers, traumas. The mental body has got all these limiting beliefs. So I would highly recommend you do some kind of somatic healing modality, like Himalayan Kriya Yoga, which I teach in Reclaim Your Crown. I keep recommending it. It's the reason why I trained in it is because it's the fastest modality that I found for healing trauma and activating your multidimensional gifts, which is maybe not for everyone. I mean, even myself, you know, I don't always, I'm not always super disciplined when it comes to doing it for activating multidimensional gifts. Most of us want to avoid pain more than we want to gain extra stuff. But yeah, it's super, super effective for healing not just your triggers and your traumas, but also it rewires you at the causal level, i.e. mental body. So it actually changes the way that you think, the stories that you tell yourself. So this will be a game changer for you. You know, I've priced it really affordably. I'm looking into also maybe doing some payment plans as well. But, you know, I think for a lot of people, it's about $300 and it's like 10 lessons, and it will take you maybe like 10 days if you want to do it every day, or 10 weeks if you want to do it once a week, and you will be a changed person. Somebody, Chris Plow, what the fuck is Antarctica? I'm sorry, hon, but like I'm never going to be a flat earther. Like, there's just too much evidence to suggest that the earth is a globe. Like, I don't even know why we're talking about this. But I do recommend, if people are questioning it and they really don't know what shape the earth is, have a look at Colin Smith's videos, okay? He did plenty of videos debunking the whole flat earth thing. I find it really sad that we're here as a species, that we need to debate this. But look, I get that, you know, trust in institutions is at an all-time low, so I guess it's not really surprising that people are questioning what shape the earth is. Bilal's Thing Art says, can we work on a video shoot when you're in London next? I have ideas. I said, yes, your work's fire. Please DM me. I haven't got a DM from him yet. But please DM me, and yeah, let's do it. Adil says, get well soon. Thank you. I'm almost better. I still have a bit of a sniffle and a little bit of a cough still. Natalia, any spiritual book recommendations? I've done a whole video on this, so I'm not going to go into everything right now, but I would definitely always recommend The Divine Matrix. That's my first book that I always recommend. Then after that, Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of the Body, about his spontaneous out-of-body experiences. Not that I recommend people learn how to astrally project themselves, because I think astral projection can be quite dangerous. The astrals are full of like negative entities and stuff like that. There's other ways that you can explore the quantum field without actually getting your astral body to leave your physical body. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Autobiography of a Yogi is a really good one. More conspiratorial mind, I recommend Rule by Secrecy by Jim Mars. I need to go back and finish that book, because the first half is going into a lot of secret societies, but it gets a lot more esoteric towards the end, talking about the pyramids and stuff like that. So I really want to go and pick up that book again, but I left it home in London, so I'm going to have to go back and get that. I'm currently reading The Sacred Sex Rites of Ishtar by Anne Leofit. I can't remember the name of the author, but it's pretty good. I would say there's some stuff in it that I don't agree with, but it's still pretty good. It's pretty interesting. It's obviously about Ishtar, about Babylon, about the ancient temples, the high priestesses, shamanism. It's not the only book that I would recommend reading on that subject, but it's one that I'm reading at the moment, so that's why I say have a look. Somebody's asked when I will visit Portugal. I have no plans to visit Portugal, although my friend Chico Slimani, who some of you might remember of 90s fame, it's Chico time from X Factor. He's like a massive truth seeker now, and he's invited me a couple of times to collaborate with him on retreats that he does in Portugal. So once I finish my yoga teacher training, I might go and do that. So maybe then come to the retreat, because that will be in Portugal. Somebody asked me what's my height. It's 5'8" on a good day. And Mark Tassi asks, is it time to get back on a fruit-based diet? Oh God. So you guys will remember, if you've been with me for many years, that, you know, one of the things that I talked about heavily on this channel was my journey with Raw Till 4, which was a high fruit lifestyle. If you didn't watch all the videos, then you might have missed the video where my face swelled up like a massive watermelon. It's called Raw Till 4 and Tooth Problems, and I got like a massive abscess from eating too much fruit. Like, I will add a caveat that I already had a pre-existing filling in that tooth, and then but it got made worse, and then I had to go and get a root canal, which I really, really wanted to avoid, because I know about the links between root canals and breast cancer, and, you know, it's obviously not ideal. So I don't have any desire to get back on a fruitarian lifestyle. I'm not saying that I don't believe that a fruitarian lifestyle is not optimal for human beings. I just don't think that we're living optimal lifestyles. So I just think people should go easy on themselves. Like, do what works for you. Like, after being on that lifestyle and then switching back to plant-based vegan, being plant-based vegan for me feels like, it can feel quite indulgent after being on a fruit-based lifestyle. But it also just feels very easy. It doesn't feel restrictive, except sometimes when I'm on jobs and they don't understand what veganism is, and they say that they weren't told, even though they were told, and they don't have anything, and I'm like, how is it hard to have carbohydrates, vegetables, grains, fruits, seeds, nuts, beans, stuff that just grows out of the earth, because that's just what I eat. Like, it's not like, it's harder to farm and kill animals than to eat what grows out of the ground. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the questions. Please join the Facebook group, ladies only. Sorry guys, this one is not for you. I might do another one in the future for everyone, but right now it's just for the girls. Women, rather, adult women. It's an 18+ space, because we're going to be talking about sacred sexuality. So yeah, if the link doesn't work, then send me a DM on Instagram and I will send you your own private link. As always, if you want to book a one-on-one quantum fieldwork session with me, or a package, please DM me on Instagram and I will get you booked in. And I will see you in the next video, hopefully from the beach. I love you. See you later. Bye.